Storm Dara disrupted this fixture back in December, but ultimately nothing gets in the way of a Merseyside derby. Goodison Park has staged this game for 130 years, but tonight it opens its doors to Liverpool for the final time. The Reds aren't here out of sentiment though. Arne Slot's men are firmly in a title race. Across Stanley Park, it's been all change at Everton. Since the game was rearranged, David Moyes is back at the helm. Perhaps fitting that he should be the man to oversee the final meeting between these two sides at Goodison.
It's the big one today. Everton versus Liverpool from the most successful football city in Britain. This rather more than a local derby.
The Merseyside Derby, still the most vibrant occasion on the English football calendar.
Between Everton in dark shirts and Liverpool. No one had given the trophy men much of a chance.
David Ellery gets the game underway.
Unsworth goes, Fowler will go as well. It was a very aggressive tackle.
Can he score his fourth? It looks as though he has. Yes!
It's a soft one for Everton to concede. Everything is going Liverpool's way right now. Oh, it's unbelievable! Fowler! Derby day delight for Liverpool!
And that's how the battle ends. Liverpool given Everton an honest beating.
Yes, the stadium has seen its first share of unforgettable moments when the two halves of the city have come together, and there's no fixture this season that will have more emotion attached to it for Everton fans than this one. The final derby that will ever be staged at this famous old ground. It is Everton versus Liverpool, the 245th Merseyside derby. We've got all the build-up right here on LFC TV and live audio commentary from 7:30. Welcome along to Matchday Live. I've got Sammy Lee and Jay Spearing alongside me for this one. But before we hear from the lads, let's cross over to Goodison, where former Red Jan Molby is pitchside for us. First though, Rob Jones has news on Liverpool's starting lineup. Rob.
Mark, thank you very much indeed. Here we go then, one last time at this famous old ground. 1894 was the first Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. Tonight it is the very last one before the blue half of this city move to a brand new home. But there is no room for sentiment for Liverpool here as they look to stretch their lead at the top of the Premier League to 9 points. Their last league outing came 11 days ago at in-form Bournemouth, and Arne Slot makes just one change from that side for the game tonight. Connor Bradley in at right back. Trent Alexander-Arnold is back, but only fit enough for a place on the bench. So the team in full for Liverpool this evening. Alisson starts in goal. He's conceded just 3 times in 10 Merseyside derbies in the past. It's a back four of Bradley, Konate, and then Virgil van Dijk, the captain, and Andy Robertson, who've both scored in Merseyside victories in days gone by. The two in front of the back four, Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister, paired together for the 21st time in 24 Premier League games this season. Dominic Szoboszlai just ahead of that, and then the front three, Mo Salah, who can equal Luis Suarez's record of scoring 14 times in away Premier League games in a Premier League season if he scores tonight. He'll be on one side, Cody Gakpo the other, and Luis Diaz, who did play against Plymouth at the weekend, up front. Diogo Jota is amongst those on the bench, as is Darwin Núñez, and as we said, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Jan Molby is alongside me. There will be a lot of misty eyes, Jan, over the course of the evening, looking back on the great days. We'll do it ourselves a little bit later, but as I said, Liverpool have no room or reason to get caught up in that tonight.
No, I was just going to say that. I mean, obviously, all the emotional thing, surely that'll come from Everton's end. It is their last Merseyside derby here. I think the Liverpool fans are going to be parked in that corner over there. Would be quite happy to see the back of the stadium because it's not a great viewing point to see the match from, isn't it? So as you say, Liverpool are here to do a job on it. They're here to stretch the lead to 9 points. No reason to get involved in any emotional shenanigans whatsoever.
And because of reaching the Carabao Cup final last week, this feels like a critical 5-game spell in Liverpool's season. Everton, Wolves, Villa, City, Newcastle. Come through that unscathed, you really can start thinking about bus parades.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it was pretty clear on Sunday when we played Plymouth away how the manager feels about this period coming up. He was prepared to put a team out that he thought was good enough to beat Plymouth. It didn't work out like that. We're back to what we now call our strongest starting 11 for a run of some really, really difficult games. This game, as much as you look at Everton, they've had, it's the third poor season they've had now. They're nowhere near us in terms of quality, but these games, they live a life on their own.
The only change that has been made from that last league game, as I mentioned, is that Conor Bradley comes into the team. It feels pretty much seamless, doesn't it, when he plays ahead of Trent, because he's done so well.
I just get the feeling that Arnie's going to tell them, let's keep a back four together for as long as we need to. Let's not do anything rash, and we'll go into the game, we'll control the game the way that we like to control games, and we'll take it from there. If we need more from the right back, we'll either get it from Conor, we'll get it from Trent on the bench, but for the time being, a solid back four, be in positions. Don't give them any lifelines, Everton. Don't give them something where they can get after us. Don't show them any weakness.
It felt significant last week. One of the key decisions selection-wise that the managers had to make over the course of the season is who to play in that number 10 role. But Dominic Szoboszlai excellent when he came back into the team against Spurs last week.
Yeah, I just get the feeling because of the way that role works. That's where he's been rotating a little bit because you spend an awful lot of energy playing in that number 10. So Dominic Szoboszlai or Curtis Jones tonight is Dominic, and you rightly say he is in good form, probably playing the best, most consistent football he's played for the last 18 months.
Is the key to just try and play at your own pace in the centre of midfield, because it just seems like a lot of the time it's going about 300 miles an hour in this particular fixture, that Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister in particular just have to try and dictate the pace of the game.
Yeah, well, that's the key, isn't it, to a game like this, but it's also the reason that you've got good players with the right sort of temperament. Temperament in these games is massive. The easiest thing in the world is to get involved. You know, the way that the game is going, and Everton want this game to be scrappy, they want it to be physical, and the easy thing for the players to do is to take part in that, because at least then you took part in the game. But the hard part is to kind of step away from it a little bit and play your own game. But we've got some really good midfield players who I fancy to be able to take control of the game tonight.
And in the forward areas, for Luis Diaz is the key just to try and drag two big physical centre-halves in Branthwaite and Tarkowski into areas that they don't want to be.
So I assume that Everton will play almost with a back six, with the two wingers pulling back in, doubling up on our wide men. What you want ideally is to try and move these Everton defenders about, but it's going to be difficult because it's going to be a low block. They're going to want to be close together and just head and kick everything clear and build a bit of an atmosphere. Obviously the key for Everton, the longer they can stay at 0-0, the better it is for them, isn't it? But we need to get involved in a match with good tempo. The tempo is going to be the key tonight.
Jan, thank you very much for the moment. Jan will be back to talk Everton very shortly. The overarching look of their team is it is the same as their last league victory over Leicester. One of the stats you'll hear a lot about the Merseyside Derby, the most red cards in any Premier League fixture ever, so it seems significant to mention. The referee tonight is Michael Oliver, and it is Chris Kavanagh on VAR.
It has been lively over the years, it's fair to say. Gentlemen, good to have you with us this evening for this one. A huge game for so many reasons. There is the historical element to it the boys have touched on. And that can't be discounted, Sammy. But from Liverpool's point of view, that's kind of irrelevant. It's about winning. It's about 3 points. It's about the title push.
Of course, it's about the next game, which is this game. And I have to say to you, I think as Jan alluded to there, we've got to take the emotion out of it. Because they'll want to make it an emotional game. They'll want to make it a physical game. They'll want to make it a frenetic game. We have to take that emotion away from it and just play our game and hopefully get the 3 points. Because they keep on talking about this game, the last game at Goodison, under the lights. You know, they will want to make it bigger than what it should be. It's about the next game, 3 points. That's all you get out of it. Keep the emotion out of it, and our quality, hopefully, will take over.
And control the game, control the tempo of it. The frustration builds in the stands, then the pressure shifts, doesn't it? Because that build-up that Sammy's spoken about then becomes a weight on the shoulders of the Everton players, because there's that, you have to win, it's the last one. If they don't...
Yeah, I think Liverpool have got to play the game clever. I think they've got to be wise to know that that's exactly what the Everton fans are going to want.
Yeah.
The players are going to want it. They're going to cheer every header, every tackle, every throw-in. Anything that any Everton player does, they'll try and get the atmosphere up. They'll try and make Liverpool get drawn into a game of fighting, winning first balls, second balls. Liverpool have to simply just get on the ball, play, control the game as much as they can, and probably frustrate the fans, probably frustrate the players as well, because and even though, you know, we've touched upon like the Everton fans are making it as in like the last game of Goodison, it's under the lights, we want to make it electric. That could possibly put pressure on the Everton players to think, oh wow, I've got to do something tonight. But Liverpool can go the complete opposite and just slow the game down, make it frustrating for them, frustrate the crowd, control the game simply, and try and get an early goal if possible. But they've got to be ready for the fight and not give silly fouls away, because anything that comes is going to go in towards Liverpool's box.
And you know, Jay, back in the day, we always got told for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, keep the crowd out of it, keep the crowd quiet, because if you make them a part of the game, then it will be a war, it will be a battle. And it's going to be a battle anyway, but first 15, 20 minutes, keep them out there if you can. And as Jay said, if you can get an early goal, even better.
We'll get your thoughts on this fixture, this stadium, in more detail a little bit later in the show. Let's deal with the elephant in the room, the P word, Plymouth. We've had a few days to reflect on it. It doesn't make it any easier to accept the fact that we're out of the FA Cup and maybe an opportunity has been missed. How do you think, Jay, the manager will reflect now on his selection, the fact they've gone out, the way the game panned out, and maybe some of the flack that's come Liverpool's way as a result of what happened down in Devon?
For me, I think the manager will learn an incredible lot about the competition, about his players, and about probably everything to do with the game. I feel that, you know, he's made a lot of changes because he thinks probably leading in now and going into a 5-game period in 15 days, could he have given people game time to maybe get them up to speed leading into this period? But, you know, for me, it was a sense of frustration. I think, you know, people didn't perform to the levels that we expect them to play at. Plymouth had a game plan. You know, they clearly wasn't going to come and try and get at us. They were going to sit off, let us have dominance with the ball. We just didn't seem to be able to break them down, and I think the main word for me is frustration. But the manager would have probably learned a hell of a lot more about his players and about everything to do with the game, rather than us winning it and just passing it by.
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't if you're a manager. Results are everything. They dictate whether you've made the right decisions or not. Sam, you've been in coaching teams, you've been in dugouts, you've been behind the scenes making the choices. I guess there's two questions. What would you have done beforehand with this game, and what would you have done with hindsight? The same thing or different?
Well, Mark, that's why I've been sacked. You know, many occasions, you know, look, listen, we spoke about it beforehand. Would you have done anything after the event? I'm very conservative. I wouldn't have made that many changes, but I'm not trying to be critical of Arnie, because far be it from me to be critical of him. I just tend to think that, listen, for me, I always, as a coach, I want a strong start and make the changes after that. And I just think it's sad, because at the end of the day, we're now out of a major competition, which we love to be in. And again, I know the reasons why you said you may have made the changes, but for me, it's about momentum. And I think if you keep momentum going, you don't have to play all the games. You don't have to train all the time. Just keep on playing games. You don't have to play all the games. I also understand the fact that certain players want to play games. That's fine. But you can, as a manager, you can dictate that, you can manage that. And I just tend to think, I'm really disappointed the fact that I think we made too many changes, if I'm being honest. Too many. I know you're in amongst it, Jay, but I think we made, and I'm not trying to be wise after the event, I do think we made too many changes. But listen, that's gone now. I think, to the great point what Jay said before, we'll learn from that. He will learn from that, and we'll take it on now. So for me, it's about learning from whatever's gone on, from your disappointments, your defeat. If he likes to say mistakes, he may say different. Move on now. And I think he will certainly have learned an awful lot about, as you said before, his players and his squad from that Plymouth game, which was no easy task, by the way. The FA Cup is always like that. Banana skins, if you like, difficult pitch to play on, fast pitch, wasn't watered, you know exactly what it is, but it was a disappointment, but we'll learn from it and hopefully move forward.
Put that to one side, then the FA Cup is done. Tonight it's back to league business. It's actually been a little while since the last league game, given the other games. Our last league performance was a decent one, at a difficult place for a team playing very well, Bournemouth. We can take something from that, and also obviously the game we've missed out, which was how well we dispatched Spurs in the League Cup as well to get to the final. Yeah. The form overall from the first choice 11, if you call it that, has been very good.
Yeah, it has. It's been consistent, and I think The team selection's also been consistent. So the manager probably leading in, obviously, and I'm going maybe jumping back to the Plymouth one, but for me, I think he's made changes because he doesn't make many changes week to week. He's quite consistent with his team. So the opportunity he's obviously seen is to be able to rest people. But obviously going back to the Bournemouth game, Bournemouth are having an unbelievable season. The manager's got them playing some unbelievable stuff. They're full force, they're frantic, they run hard, they work hard as a team, they're well structured, you know, they're like an oiled machine. But Liverpool went there and listen, really the teams have gone there and not pulled any points away from Bournemouth. So for us to go there and win 2-0, and I know Bournemouth had their chances, but for me it was a real class away performance from Liverpool to go and get the 2 goals, get the 3 points, and to come out of it like untouched, and obviously everybody still being fit as well.
And them alongside Forest, they're the meanest defence in the Premiership, and particularly at the Vitality Stadium. So it was a great result, and we shouldn't forget that, because we're thinking about Plymouth. But as I keep on saying every time we come on this programme, it's about the next game. Whatever's gone on previous has gone on. We need to move on from the Plymouth game, learn from it, but move on. And I think Arnie, whenever I listen to him talk, he will have learned from every scenario. Jay works with him day in, day out, and I think it'll be a learning curve for him, and he will learn from what's gone on at the weekend and take us forward into this very intense period that we're going to go into in you say 5 games in 15 days or whatever it may be. I think it'll bode well for us in moving forward. I really do.
A couple of goals for Mo in that victory over Bournemouth. A good omen for tonight, as he's got 7 goals against Everton so far. 3 of them have come at Goodison. And Mo has been breaking all sorts of records this season, but someone who's been making his mark on this Liverpool team as well is Cody Gakpo. He's been crowned Standard Chartered's Player of the Month for January. He made an impact on his very first Merseyside derby. He knows that the team can't let the occasion get the better of them tonight.
There's plenty making ground towards the middle. What is Soboslai and turned home by Cody Gakpo. Lovely ball, Gakpo. Still Gakpo. Goal! Brilliant as well. Alexander-Arnold, lovely ball, brilliant goal. Oh, that just said, here you go, have one on a plate.
It's a big opportunity for us, but I think we have to focus on the performance and on what we put in the game, and then we will see what the outcome will be. But yeah, if we put in a good performance with the ball, without the ball, high intensity, and that's actually all we can do. And then we have enough quality to hopefully bring the 3 points home. But yeah, I think it starts with the mindset and the performance. I think it's for every player it's different, but I like to just focus on the game, and obviously we train things we want to see back in the game, and I try to focus on those things, and then the pressure that comes with it, yeah, you just embrace it and hopefully make it a good game. For them maybe it's even a more special game against us, the last game there. Yeah, it's going to be maybe an emotional game from both sides, but at the end we have to stay as focused as possible and put as much intensity in it as we can to go out there and win the game, and yeah, hopefully that's the outcome for us.
How do you assess Everton's strengths? New manager, they look revitalised, that perhaps a different challenge than they might have been before Christmas.
Yeah, I think they are doing pretty well at the moment. Like you said, new manager, revitalised, but I think this is a special game anyway. It's a derby, so we just have to go out there and fight for the win. It will not come easy, so that's what we plan to do, and hopefully we'll get it.
You've got fond memories of playing against Everton, though. You couldn't have started life as a Liverpool player any better, really, against the old enemy.
Yeah, my first goal for the club was against Everton, yes. So hopefully I can add a few more.
Salah, Alexander-Arnold, beautiful ball across goal! Cody Gakpo has scored his first goal for Liverpool and given them clear daylight in the Merseyside derby.
I think it was a kind of a transition moment. I think Mo passed the ball to Trent, and he gave a low cross, and I was at the back post for the tap in. So it was a good one for me, first one, and I think it was a 2-0 in the game as well, and yeah, important one for the team as well at the time. I feel very good at the moment. Obviously, I had some very good years at PSV as well. But yeah, I feel very good, very strong. Also a little bit more experience than back then. So yeah, I feel good, and hopefully I can continue, we can continue, and end the season very well.
You spoke about coming to the club and having this big brother figure in Virgil van Dijk, who helped you settle so well. I wonder as well whether you might have played that role for Ryan Gravenberch, who, should he play in the Merseyside Derby like we expect him to, would make his 50th Premier League appearance.
50 already?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going fast. No, obviously Ryan and myself, we knew each other already a little bit from the national team and under 23s in the national team. And yeah, I try to help him wherever I can, and still do. And yeah, hopefully I helped him a lot. I don't know how he thinks about it, but probably he will. So no, we have a good connection, good relationship together, and very pleased that he's with us, and he's doing amazing. So that's the bonus point. The Dutch people already knew him from his time at Ajax and knew how good he can be. Obviously, he evolved and is much better than he was back then, but we already saw the quality he has, and I'm just very happy for him that he can show it now every game again. And yeah, like I said, he's doing amazing, so very proud of him.
16 goals for Cody Gakpo so far this season, already equalled his tally from the last campaign. How big a role has he got to play in the remainder of this season, Jim, particularly tonight, what he could do to Everton?
First of all, I think you have to look at the 16 goals have come in a period where he didn't really start the season. You know, Diaz was ahead of him in a lot of the first couple of games, so for him to get the 16 goals in the games that he's been involved in is an incredible stat for him. But since he's come in, he's worked hard, he hasn't sulked, he's got on with it, and he's kept that shirt now and made that shirt his, and he's kind of pushed Lucho into the middle as a number 9, and he's not really been back out there. Tonight, I think he's going to be massive tonight. I think he could play a really big part. The form that he's in, you know, we could really get at O'Brien. I don't see O'Brien as a natural right back. I think he's more of a centre back. If Liverpool can get the ball to him in these one-on-one situations, as you can see now, I think he could really cause Everton a problem. You know, his delivery, right on point, is next to none. Finding that back post. It's a lot of work that, like, we've seen in the first team, and this is a lot of stuff that we do with the under-21s as well. Like the far side winger, Samuel Salah, back post, Ryan coming in, Cody coming inside. You know, that's work on work. And you don't create. You have to create your own look as an attacker. And if you're inside the box, more than likely you're going to get a chance to score. But yeah, he's been an absolute revelation for me, and I think he's been fantastic this season. And long may it continue.
And I think that's hours and hours on the training pitch,
100%, yeah.
As you so rightly said there, that doesn't come about just by chance.
No.
That comes about by practicing on the pitch. And I think you make a great point. And again, you've been working with them all the time as an opposition against them. I think to see his prominence and his development, I think it's been a massive benefit for Liverpool Football Club this season. You know, as you say, he's pushed people out of that position. He made that position nearly his own. You know, from, as you say, 16 goals, not always from starting positions. So now he's made that position so whereby you think, well, okay, does Núñez go in the middle? Does Diaz go in the middle? I think it's a fantastic problem for Arnie to have. A very positive problem to
that's what he's done. He's given the manager a problem. So exactly that. It's like Diaz was probably, when the manager first came in, he probably favoured Diaz. You know, naturally Diaz was a left winger. Cody, we weren't quite sure where his best position was, but he's gone, you know what, once I get in, I'm going to keep that shirt, and he's kept it, and he's been incredible.
And again, Mark, I think the biggest thing what Jay said before is that, you know what, when he hasn't started, he hasn't done his dummy out the pram.
No,
He's and whenever he's come on, he's had an impact. We talk about it all the time. He's been very, very focused, and we're reaping the benefits of that, the rewards of that now. I think all credit to the guy, and also, I keep on saying this every time on this programme, all credit to the coaching staff, yourself included, by the way.
Oh, thanks, Phil.
You know, no, seriously, because
mainly Jay.
He's the man.
This is Liverpool's game in hand in the Premier League. A huge game in the context of the title race. We all know the picture at the top of the table, a chance for us to go 9 points clear. How significant would that be in your eyes, Sammy, at this stage of the campaign?
Huge, Mark. I don't talk about game in hand. I talk about the next game. Again, I'm repetitive, I'm boring, I know that, but it's about the next game, and we just so happen to be this game now against Everton, and I have to say it's huge. It's huge, and I have to say it'd be fantastic if we get the 3 points away from home at Goodison, under the lights, as you say. It's huge for us, and I tell you, just to keep the Wolves at bay, you know, because we know full well Arsenal snapping our heels. People don't even talk about Forest, you know, so we've just got to do what we can do. And tonight, our next game is against Everton, against our old rivals. It'd be lovely to come away with the 3 points. Really nice to come away with 3 points.
There'll be 14 left to play, 8 of those at Anfield as well. You just think, you start to paint a picture, and you're starting to try and not struggle to find reasons why it couldn't be our year then, but it becomes more and more difficult to argue against it, doesn't it?
Yeah, but for me, it's been frustrating that people are still arguing and saying that people are going to catch us. You know, we've not. For me, I don't think we've been given the credit that we deserve. Every single, you know, at the start of the season, everyone's saying, "Oh, they haven't played no one. You know, they haven't played against the top team. They haven't done this. They haven't done that." But we've just kept about our business and kept going the way that we have done all year round. We've not really been drawn in, especially the manager. I think he's been incredible in his interviews of not getting drawn into the questions of, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about the opposition? Or what do you think about the Arsenal chasing you? He's just concentrated on himself, on his players.
On ourselves,
on ourselves, you know, he's just concentrated on that, and that's all we've done. And I know, like, you know, Sammy said it time again that we concentrate on the next game, but I think that's exactly what the manager's done. He's not been drawn into the long-term games.
People say now, say they haven't played anybody. You know, our first game of the season was against Ipswich, newly promoted Ipswich, 12:30 kick-off, whatever you want to think about that. After a long layoff, we knew it was always going to be a difficult programme. We knew it was always going to be a difficult fixture. And lo and behold, he approaches it in the right way, made the changes what we thought was right. Yeah. So for me, he's made all the right decisions, you know, and you can only play whoever you put up against you. So when people turn around and say, well, they haven't played anybody yet? Wow.
Yeah, I think people are starting to realise this Liverpool team do mean business. A chance to go 9 points clear at the top of the table tonight over Arsenal. Of course, Arsenal just had the news that Kai Havertz will miss the rest of the campaign as well. The problems are starting to stack up. OK, it's time for viewers on social media to leave us. Our Matchday Live build-up, though, will continue on LFC TV after the break. If you are watching this and aren't yet a subscriber, then you can find details on how to sign up online. It's liverpoolfc.com/watch. I'm told it is very, very easy. Coming up in the rest of our pre-match show, we'll look ahead to the game with Arne Slot and look back at a few classic Goodison encounters. At 7:30, we've got live audio commentary of the full game. We've got all the post-match reaction for you as well from 9:30. That post-match show will also be available to listen to in the reaction. That'll be later on the club's official podcast. And you can watch the full game on LFC TV from midnight tonight. And don't forget to look out for Inside as well, to go behind the scenes of events at Goodison this evening. That'll be on Facebook and on YouTube sometime tomorrow. We are heading to a break now. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the blue half of this Merseyside derby. We're back soon.